What's up, everybody? My name is Greg Wave. Welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. Today I wanted to give you just a quick breakdown on the times you should and should not be driving. This is just huge important because a lot of people, I think, get turned off to the idea of Uber and Lyft because they tried it and they drove at all the wrong times and they're like, oh, there's no money to be made. Driving at the right times is very imperative. So I have done full-time driving, I have done part-time driving, I have done early mornings, I've done late nights, I've woken up at 3 a.m. to drive, I've stayed up till 5 a.m. driving and then slept in till 2 and then started driving. I've done every possible way you could, and here's what I found. So, sorry, I'm just getting comfy. So weekday driving is tough. Okay, it's tough to figure out how to make it work, and it's just way different than the weekends. So from what I've learned from the weekdays, the best thing you can do, now it's a little bit tough, but if you're able to do 4 to 8 a.m. and 4 to 8 p.m., you're going to get 8 really quality hours. That morning rush is really solid, plus you get a ton of airport drop-offs. And airport rides are my absolute favorite. I get tipped, I feel like, every time, it seems like, on an airport ride. As well as, you know, they're usually longer rides. I don't know, I really love airport rides. And at 4 to 8 a.m., you get a ton of them. So if you can discipline yourself to wake up at like 3 or 3:30 and make a quick cup of coffee and get out there, you're going to kill it. In general, from what I've seen, really from 9 a.m. until like 1 or 2, it's pretty slow. When I was driving like weekdays a lot, if I did that 4 to 8 a.m., I would then take the rest of the day off and then I would drive 4 to 8 p.m. Now, let's say you can't do that morning shift because you work really early at like 5 a.m., but then you get off at like 1. Driving 2 to 8 p.m. isn't like a bad idea. Generally 2 to 3 are still pretty decent because some people get off earlier. But it's really that like 9 a.m. to like 1 that I feel like is really bogus. It's usually really slow. The rides you do get are generally people at work that are like going to get a Starbucks or something. So it's really crappy fares, not a lot of tippers. It's just it's not good driving. So that's going to be your best bet for the weekends. Now, once Friday hits, you can do the 4 to 8 a.m., but in general, I wouldn't do the 4 to 8 a.m. on Friday because I would usually put in like a monster day on Friday and I would do like 3 p.m. to like 3 a.m. So I would do a 12-hour shift and I would get all the work traffic from 3 to 8 p.m. But then once 8 hit, a lot of people were starting to go to dinner or do different things, go out. So then I'd get a ton of rides into the city or, you know, to the club. And especially once like a 10 to 12 hits, then you're getting just tons of rides. Really from that point on, from 10 p.m. on a Friday night, you're usually pretty solid. Like you're taking some of the older crowd back home from their dinners. You're taking the college crowd out to the clubs. It's just ride after ride after ride. It's always really consistent. And then once 2 a.m. hits, you start getting that really solid bar rush. Saturday, I feel like, is the one day where, for the most part, you can do good all day. I mean, mornings are not the best, but there's some decent airport traffic. A lot of people are doing brunch. It's way better than a weekday, but it's still nothing like crazy special. On Saturday, I would usually end up doing the same thing. I would start at 3 to 4 p.m. and go to 3 to 4 a.m. or however I felt. And I'd put in just like a huge 12-hour day, but it was always worth it, you know? I had a lot of Fridays and Saturdays where if I worked 12 hours, you know, I was making a good $300 here and there if it was a really good day. And then if it was like a crazy concert or something, a lot of times you'd make $500 or $600. So those weekends can be really powerful if they're utilized the right way. You know, I've always said that, like, if you really wanted to, you could be a part-time driver, and if you put in 25 hours a week, but you did 12 hours on Friday and 12 hours on Saturday, you're going to absolutely crush it and add, like, a really great supplemental income. But it's tough. A lot of people don't want to give up their weekends. So you just got to know what your priorities are and what you're really looking for. So, and then for Sundays, I just really have never had good luck on Sundays. I've had a few Sundays that were decent, but in general, I would always skip Sundays because I feel like it's just good to have a rest day. It just so happens to be the Sabbath. I'm not religious, but there just was nothing good on Sundays, you know? And I think for a lot of those reasons, a lot of people are going to church, you know, they're not going to be getting drunk off communion and needing to Uber home. So, you know, keep that in mind. And then, I don't know, a little bit of airport traffic on Sundays, but none of it that would be worth your time. So, yeah, that's what I got for you guys. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. I've got some more content coming for you guys. I hope you crushed it out there. I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope you can utilize your hours the right way.